Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to be installing the software and the wired network installation on this brother right here, the ImageCenter ADS-2500 scanner. It's $799.99. It's got a 50-sheet feeder. Single pass duplex, scans up to 24 pages per minute, 48 images per minute with duplex originals, and you can look up all the features that it has on the Brother website, and you can watch the videos that we did for the setup, unboxing and installation. So here's what the opening screen looks like. It's 2:34 p.m. Select English. Let's see what the custom installation looks like. No paper port, wireless LAN setup, network utilities, ISIS scanner, drivers, and repair MFL Pro Suite. So, got the user guides, additional applications, Nuance PDF Converter, Nuance Presto BizCard. There's a whole bunch of stuff. I assume I should just do what everybody else is going to do and install the whole suite. Now it's 2:35 p.m. Okay, this is the license agreement. Do you accept the terms of all of this licensing? Yes. Alright, I just, right before lunch, just uninstalled all the stuff from the Brother MFC J4510DW all in one, and I had Nuance and all of this paper port and a lot of the same stuff that I'm going to be putting back on here. So it takes, when you put paper port on here, in fact it's doing it now, setting up paper port 12. When you put paper port on here, it lengthens out the process quite a bit because it's a pretty hefty program. So hopefully we won't be watching the screen for too long. I promise to go in and chop out whatever I can before I dead spots before I rip the video for you. Now it's installing Nuance Paper Port 12. That took seemingly forever. It's 2:43 p.m. That was the paper port installation. Now it's installing the PDF installer. I had to stop this screen recorder a couple times because the installation program doesn't like this screen recorder running. It just comes to a screeching halt. So this initial part of the video will be a little choppy. Okay. It's now working on the paper port image printer setup. I just uninstalled all this stuff, like I said, just before lunch, an hour or two ago. And I was putting it all back on. Okay, now it's installing the Brother suite, software suite. And we have another. Do you accept terms and agreements? Yes. Okay, we're getting into the nitty-gritty of this. I've already got a wired connection hooked up. Windows Firewall is helping protect your computer. Change the firewall port settings to enable the connection and continue with the installation, or do it without changing the Windows firewall settings. I'm not sure why anybody would want to do that, but let it do its own thing and set the ports up automatically. Alright, it's looking for found the scanner right away. Now it's configuring the software. Alright, moving on. Okay, now we can register with Brother or register with Nuance. And if you prefer not to register at this time, click Next. Now it wants us to restart the computer. Most likely that's a good thing to do. So let's restart. Okay, now we've rebooted and it's asking us whether we want to do auto software updates or not. You can do this manually from status monitor if you double click on it. Okay, the ControCenter4 software icon is loaded, as well as the Brother status monitor. And it's showing us here the pickup roller count, the separation pad count 0 out of 50,000. So those rollers are supposed to last 50,000, and we in the installation video we took a look at those rollers and how to change them. You can go to the website and order them as well using this status monitor, and this status monitor can be used to monitor other Brother devices that you happen to have. If you had an MFP or a printer on here, this single status monitor would work for all of them. And you can also check for software updates here, and since we turn that off to manual, this is how you would do it. Click this every now and then to find out whether there's new software available. Now this ControCenter4, you can look at it in two modes. There's home mode and there's advanced mode. And right now we tested exactly the same as the MSC J4510DW, and we tested looked at the advanced mode with that product. So the main difference is, and I don't see it here, with the 4510, it gave you a list of folders over here that you could work with. So I don't see that here. So scan, you can choose photo, text, graph, monochrome text, custom, and you can have it automatically detect the scan size, or you can specify all these sizes here. And basically, if you click the mode that you want, you get an original and put it in the platen, put it in the scanner, get it ready. Okay, I put an original in the scanner. I also don't see anywhere to do a duplex scan. Remote setup, address book, device scan settings. Configure the hardware scan key on your device. And this is where you would set up each one of your icons on the device control panel. If you select scan to image, this is where you would set up your default path, your default file type, your size, resolution, your color information, and then two-sided scanning is set up automatically for image. If you go into OCR, which is optical character recognition, you can set up your application that you want it to open in. You can set it up for text or Word or WordPad, Excel, WordPerfect, HTML. Searchable is also searchable PDF. Email. You can specify what the file type is, where the file goes, the size of the file. All of this information is pretty much the same for each one of these. And when you scan to file, basically everything is pretty much the same. You can adjust. So these would be your default settings if you grab something from the control panel and just said scan to file, scan to OCR, scan to email. That's where you'd set this up. This remote setup, the control panel just went blank over there. It's downloading the information from the device. And this is where you set up your default beep, backlight, dim timer, sleep time, multi-feed detection. Here's where you set up your address books, and they can be these are all, it looks like they're all for email, but there's a ton of them actually. No, it's set up groups as well. I mean, it looks like there's 20 groups. There's all the groups, G1 through 10, and then you have 300 shortcuts for email address book. I don't see. Doesn't look like you could put a folder in there. But you can put folders in the shortcuts on the control panel, as well as this address book on the control panel. And then here's your network settings, your wireless settings. Here's where you set up your email servers, your SMP, SMTP, or POP. And initial setup, we did this in the installation video, date, time, yada yada yada. So that's your remote setup, and that was your address book. I mean, the address book will be the same. We already saw it in the remote setup, but this should probably open up that same window that we were just looking at with all the checkboxes in it. Yes, just basically opens up the same thing as remote setup. Alright, support, Control Center Help, Brother Solution Center goes online. You can download user guides and documents and look at facts, etc. Scan. Now, this is going to use the defaults that were set under here. You can do this, custom settings. So we want to make sure we got Duplex Scan. You got a Simplex Original in there. 24-bit color. Auto deskew, auto rotate, bleed through prevention, display the results, multi-feed, and skip blank page. Let's try that with Duplex on, because it's a Simplex Original. Let's see how it skips the blank page. So let's scan. open the front cover document jam too long, whatever that means. This is 20-pound bond. Pull the jam paper out, close the front cover, press stop. Okay, it went right through that time. So let's see. I put the original in. It says ADF ready. It's telling me it's jam here. That's okay. Try again. Okay. That time it went through. Let's see what happens once it receives the document. It skipped the blank page. Nice. Okay. It's not skewed at all. And right from here I can send it to OCR, I can send it to email, I can open it with an application, and I can save it. So if I go to save it, it's automatically created a folder called ControCenter Scan. It can insert the date in the file name. It can set the size of the file, and I can select whether I want a bitmap, a JPEG, TDF, high compression PDF, TIFF, multi-page TIFF, PNG, secure PDF, or XML. So just for grins, we'll save it as a JPEG. Okay, so a folder opened up over here. Here's the document. Here's a preview of it. It was a light document to begin with, printed in with using this pretensaver, but it looks pretty good. So that's how the control center works for scanning, and it doesn't have the folders over here like the all-in-one had. Well, let's just try this real quick and see what happens if I save it in Word. In the meantime, let's see what other software was installed. Okay, this Webconnect is when we want to activate the applications on the control panel. We looked at ControCenter4. We're looking at it now. We have installation diagnostics, online help, online registration, remote setup, which we looked at through ControCenter4. We already looked at status monitor. And by the way, that error message that popped up about the document feed jam was status monitor. We can uninstall, we can look at user guides, and then there's a section called scanner settings. Let's see an hourglass here. Let's go back over here though and look at this scanner settings. Okay, this goes into your Windows scanners and camera module. So basically that's all the software. So let's just leave that alone for now. Let's look at advanced mode. Alright, you have the same toolbars up here, and basically I don't know what's so advanced about it, but it's basically gives you the same controls that you had before, but instead of them being, and you got the same controls here, but each one of these, when you click it, you get the advanced settings for each job. When you go back to home mode, when you click photo, you use the default photo settings. You don't get the ability to tailor. You don't get the ability to tailor. Now, basically, that pop-up was Control Center. That wasn't. I said before it was Status Monitor, but it's Control Center. So when I say Scan Now, it just scans it using the default settings that are set over here. But when you do advanced mode, you can every time you click one of these icons, you get an opportunity to tailor it for each individual job. So that's that. Let's see what happens with. I just popped the cover on the. I just popped the cover on the scanner. Let's see what happens with this status monitor. But the only other thing to go over is, let's go now from the control panel. I can send scans to Dropbox, Evernote, a whole bunch of other. So okay, his status monitor popped up here. It said close cover. It's the red X, and it'll go away. All right, so let's go back over here again. Let's set up Scan to Evernote from the Webconnect. So here's the services that you could connect to. Let's and here's the terms for Webconnect. Let's do Evernote. I agree. And now I can authorize that I'm signed in. Alright, now I have to go over to the control panel. Scroll over to Scan to Web. Select Evernote. OK. And there's a button, Register Delete Account. Register account. You need a temporary ID. Press OK if you have one. OK. Now it's giving me a virtual numeric keypad. 008 7198 4317. OK. It's processing. Please enter your display name for this account. Now it opened up a QWERTY keypad. It's easy to type on one finger. I'm entering my name. Okay. Do I want to protect it with a PIN code? No. So now, and now it says, is everything okay? Yes. So now when I select Evernote, you can select from a list of users from a submenu. So I'm all set up for Evernote here, and you can have, you know, a variety of people. And there's a list of select account when you tap on the Evernote icon. and there's a list of but there's a button that says register delete account, and then my name underneath that to select to use that account, and it can be pin protected. So that's how you set up the scan to cloud applications. And I think we've pretty much gone through the scan to OCR thing was confusing with the 4510 as well, the MFC J4510DW as well. I can't remember what the secret was to getting it working, but it's a pain in the neck. So that's it. Pretty easy software to use. Once you get it set up, and with all the shortcuts and all of the in the address book filled, you should be able to. I mean, this is should be a pretty efficient little online digital ramp for scanning all kinds of documents into onto your network or your PC. One thing I think we might want to try to find is how to create folders, and you can use them from the control panel. Let's say that you scan travel expense receipts. And you wouldn't do it here, but you would want a folder that would let you you would select a shortcut that says scan Terry's business receipts, and it would put them into a a specific folder. Now the IP address on this thing, I can't remember what it was off the top of my head, but let's look for the embedded web server, and maybe that'll give us some clues. I believe that I probably could have found it there, but let me look at the control panel, network, wired LAN, TCP/IP is 127. Okay, so you can do a whole bunch of advanced stuff here. Address book is the same as remote. Looks like a little easier to use, but it's definitely for email. This should be your email, send settings, and your server settings. This is a lot easier than remote. I would suggest that you do your advanced setup from here. Scan, here's where you set up your scan to network, and you have profiles that can be set up for FTP or network, and then once you set them up, so it looks like you can set up 10 different profiles. So let's say I wanted to do the receipts and I wanted to do it on the network. Create a defined name. Alright, so let's see. This number 7 is receipt. So submit. Create a user-defined file name. Submit OK. So I can go in here now, and this says network. I can name this